October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and our pink-powered show is an expression of solidarity.
Mela's resident foodie has woven a rose-colored theme into this week's menu, filled with appetizing shades of pink.
We're keeping with the pink theme to commemorate Breast Cancer Awareness Month. On my menu today, a Turkish Delight cake, rose halwa and a raspberry crumble. I'm starting out with the Turkish Delight cake, and the first ingredient into a mixing bowl, flour, and then butter. This is a really simple cake to make. And then sugar. Baking powder, 3 teaspoons. And get the mixer going. Always use soft butter for this recipe. The mixture starts to resemble breadcrumbs. Now add the milk. And the milk should be at room temperature in this recipe. 3 beaten eggs. And rose essence. I'm using a capful. This is the way I measure, but you can use a teaspoon of this. Turn up the speed. The batter looks lump-free, which means it's ready. Divide the mixture into 3 cake tins. I count out the scoops. I'm using a 20 centimeter cake tin for this recipe. The oven's preheated at 170 degrees Celsius. Bake these for 20 to 22 minutes. Now for the rose halwa, we need some water, sugar and corn flour. And sugar goes in. Starting out with cold water for this. Start heating up the pan on a medium heat. Now the corn flour. I remember my mom making this when I was a kid, and it looked much like a magic trick. I prefer using a whisk to break down the lumps in the corn flour. The magic part is that this milky mixture turns into a clear gel, and I remember as a child being quite fascinated by it. Now the sugar is dissolved, lemon juice going into the pan. Cook this on a medium to low heat and stir all the time to prevent it from becoming lumpy. The mixture is thickened and it's turned into what looks like a gel. Next ingredient, butter. Whisk the butter in. You need some strong arms for this, that's the secret ingredient. Now some rose essence. About 3 capfuls. Some food coloring. Add this in quite slowly until you get the perfect shade of pink that you're looking for. And now cardamom. This is going to take another hour of whisking and stirring. An hour later, the halwa mixture is really sticky and quite hard to whisk. Now I've greased the casserole dish with non-stick spray. Place a layer of plastic wrap over and spray again. Press down and smooth it over. The plastic wrap going over and just press down. This also helps smooth it down. Now chop pistachios on top. Love the color, makes the pink pop. Sprinkle that over. That's our rose pistachio halwa done. Let's get started on the raspberry crumble. For the raspberry crumble, I've got some butter in a mixing bowl, and let's get this creamed. Gradually add some sugar. 3 tablespoons of sugar going in. That's creamed a fair bit. Eggs and oil next into the mixing bowl. The eggs. And now, using the dough attachment, I've got 700 ml of cake flour here. I'm going to add this to the creamed butter. I'm leaving a scoop in the bowl, just in case I need it. Baking powder and a little vanilla essence. And work the ingredients together on a low speed. Let's check the mixture. The dough's ready. Rings off. And use your fingertips to bring the dough together in a soft ball. Half the dough going into a pie dish. It's a 25 centimeter pie dish. I've greased it already with non-stick spray and just press that down into the base. I'm going slightly up the sides of the pie tin. That's just to hold the jam that's going to go on top. Now use a fork and prick the base. This prevents the pastry from bubbling up. Now for the jam, I'm using really good quality raspberry jam for this. Use the back of a spoon and break down the lumps in the jam. It makes it easier to spread. This crumble does puff up a fair bit, so you don't want to have too little jam. Now for the crumble topping, take some of the dough. You could put this in the refrigerator to cool down and firm up a bit. Use a grater. Lightly grate the dough over the top to form that crumble topping. That's the last bit of dough going on top. Make sure the jam is covered completely by the crumble mixture. This goes into a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 30 to 35 minutes. I've left the Turkish Delight cakes to cool in the tin. They have cooled down. Time to frost the cake. Place it onto a cake plate. And now I'm using cream cheese frosting. I've creamed together butter and icing sugar, and once that's light and fluffy, add some cream cheese to that. A touch of cream as well, and some rose essence. I've tinted this pink. And work the cream cheese frosting over the first layer. The next layer. More frosting. Use a spatula to spread that mixture around. The cake's really soft. Icing's always messy business. Now for the sides. Just using little bits of the frosting to work around. The trick with this is to work quite quickly. If the icing starts to melt, pop the cake into the refrigerator and the icing as well, and then just refrost after it's cooled down and firmed up a bit. Swirl some of the frosting over the top, making a little design. Bits of Turkish Delight. I finely chopped this. And pistachios. I quite enjoy using salted pistachios. It really cuts through the sweetness of the cake. And that's our Turkish Delight cake done. The crumbles cool down slightly, dust it with icing sugar, quite a generous sprinkling of icing sugar going on top, and then a few rose petals. Pull them off gently from the base. This is definitely pretty in pink. We've got the raspberry crumble, the rose halwa, and the Turkish Delight cake. Do enjoy it.